Dun 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 dun. I lost it. We can fade at that point,
Fade out.
right?
We'll fade out. Yeah. Welcome to MOTOsport.
MOTOsport.
My name is Carl Matsumoto,
And I'm Josiah Matsumoto.
and we together
Are
run.
the Matsumotos.
Okay, great. And this is MOTOsport.
MOTOsport. Oh, man. We'll get better at that timing.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Welcome to your new favorite Formula One podcast, brought to you by two ignorant Midwesterners.
Midwestern Americans.
Midwestern Americans who love Formula One. And that is the only form of motorsport that we enjoy.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
And it's important to note that we're certainly not longtime fans of this series. We are Drive to Survive, Netflix,
Absolutely.
bandwagon fans.
And we didn't even start that when it started.
No, we didn't.
We were like 3 seasons late.
But we got into it, and we got into it hard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So last season, the 2022 Formula One season was the first one where we were actually able to watch it the whole season, start to finish, every race.
Correct.
How was that for you?
I mean, it was great. I learned, I think watching the sport, even in 2021, watching the sport, it's so different than Drive to Survive. There's
really
nothing
is.
technical explained in Drive to Survive. It's all about the personalities. And then you watch the race and you're like, wait, what the fuck is going on here?
For real. Like, when we first watched a race, I was like, I don't know anything about this. How does this work? Like, what are the rules? Very confusing. But now we know everything about it.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So we did start watching. We watched about half the season live in 2021.
Yeah.
And then going into the full season,
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did watch the tragic end to 2021.
Yeah,
and
I was going to say that
refer to it as a tragic end.
That was a big that really set the tone going into 2022 was
It
that
did.
end. And right now we're gonna reveal our biases
Absolutely.
for which teams we like and which drivers we like.
You can probably already tell we're Mercedes fans.
Yeah, this podcast is not objective. It's about
Yes.
who we like and who we love, and we love Lewis Hamilton.
We love Lewis Hamilton.
and we love Toto Wolff.
And we love Toto Wolff. But mostly we love Lewis Hamilton. And we love George. George is great.
Too. George is great.
George is great.
And in 2021, we loved Valtteri.
We did. Valtteri, ultimate
we still
teammate.
love Valtteri.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to see him also like heading a team at Alfa Romeo. Just got to say that.
Totally.
Anyways, let's get into it. So we're going to talk about last season because that was the full season that we watched for the first time, and just give you some thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we're doing our top 3?
Oh, do you
Top
want to
3
go into
moments?
that? Well, how did you feel going into last season?
I felt sad and apprehensive and anxious going into last season. I was pretty upset with how it ended. I could not get my head around that
Lewis
loss
losing.
and just the sad little puppy dog look on Lewis Hamilton's face
know.
when he's
It was sad, but he really is a
so
class act. He never said
painful.
anything negative about that, and
if it was the other way around.
I know that would have been rough, but he really is a class act. And this is what I'll say. It's funny because I'm a longtime Vikings fan, so I'm incredibly used to
Disappointment.
to being disappointed and being let down, even when we're doing great. So, well, especially when we're doing great. So that the 2021 season for me, while disappointing, was not like a huge shock to my system. I'm very used to. Yeah.
Very different from me because I am not. This is the only sport I follow.
Yeah.
And in the past, like my family loves sports. My family's from Chicago. They love all the Chicago teams. And so my experience is hopping on that bandwagon whenever a team we like is in the World Series or in the Super Bowl or whatever, if they have been doing well, and then watching them win and being like, cool. So this one, hopping into 2021 and being like all gung-ho for Lewis Hamilton, and then the way it ended, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I am still mad about it.
How dare you?
He was truly robbed.
He was robbed.
And that was actually the third season he was robbed of a title.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And this is not our opinion. This is objective fact.
I suppose
robbed.
we should call out when we're stating facts.
Yeah, facts versus our opinions. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
All right. So you were even apprehensive to get back into it?
Well, I just had a lot of anxiety watching the races.
Sure.
And then it just kind of,
And very quickly it was like, oh, this isn't going to be a Mercedes year.
Yeah. So, yeah. That was my feeling going into the season, and then it got prolonged for the whole season.
It was a rough one for Merck. They really struggled throughout.
I know, and you just wanted him to get that one win.
I know.
So
I really wanted
just
the one win.
maintain that record, but
oh well.
A new season is upon us.
He was doing the hard work, Like he really didn't care about winning last season. He was like, I just want to make the car better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing, I was really excited for Charles Leclerc going into this season as well.
Oh man, I was stoked.
I was like, if Mercedes can't do it, I want Ferrari, I want Sainz or Leclerc to do it.
I would have loved to see Leclerc take the championship. That would have been so cool. Yeah. Oh well. But Ferrari had the
LOL.
funniest season, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the most silly season.
Correct.
Was Ferrari's, yeah.
It was questionable strategy.
Yeah, with and Mattia's gone now. R.I.P. Not actually. He's not dead.
Yeah, don't say that.
He's not dead. But I'm sad to see him go because I'll miss the Fred Armisen vibes. But
Fred Armisen.
Right. But I think the new team lead. Who knows? Maybe he'll bring up some good stuff. He was doing good things at Alfa Romeo, moving in the right direction. So
yeah,
we'll see. All right. Should we talk about our
top three?
Top several moments?
Several?
Well,
no.
I maybe wrote down more than 3.
All right. Well, you want to kick us off?
Oh,
with your top 3 memes?
Okay. So one of my favorite moments from last season.
Yeah, we're gonna tell you our favorite moments from 2022,
or just things we're bringing up. They don't have to be good necessarily, but like things we're bringing up.
Sure.
One of my favorite moments was in the first race when Red Bull was in the lead with both cars and they both didn't finish. That was so satisfying because the whole race I was like, oh no, this is how the whole season's gonna go. Oh. And then they both didn't finish and I was like, there's hope. That fell through very quickly after, but that was a good moment.
Mm-hmm. That was a very satisfying moment. You want me to go?
Yeah.
All right. Well, which one do I want to start with? We'll stick with a Red Bull one. Mine's a little bit different. It's more race season adjacent. But one of my favorite moments was the Mexico Grand Prix, specifically the mariachi.
Oh, the mariachi F1 theme. That was so good.
Oh, I loved it so much.
Honestly,
it was like the surprise
iconic.
I didn't know I needed.
Right? I was like, why don't they do that all the time?
And I love how much I love Checo's fans.
Checo has the best fans in the
know.
world. And I also enjoy Checo.
Yes. When it comes to Red Bull, we like Checo.
We do. I wish they would. I wish Red Bull would let him win. Yeah.
Yes. Not be number 2 to
right.
Max.
Not
always.
force him to give up position to Max every single race. Ugh. Whatever. But anyways, that was a good moment. Okay. Close to around there, one of my favorite moments was in Brazil when Lewis let George win.
That's a hot take.
It might be a hot take, but I stand by this that Lewis did not, because Mercedes said that they were going to let them race to the finish. And I stand by this, that Lewis was having a better race the whole time and could have beat George if he really wanted to. And I think he's a class act, and he said to himself, you know what? I don't need this. What the team needs is a George win. And it was a really beautiful moment.
I think you're projecting a little bit, but I agree if that is what he indeed thought. That is very beautiful.
I know. I mean, even if it's not what he thought, it was still a beautiful moment. It was great to see George win a race. It was so cute.
I had that on my list as well, but I just said George Russell win.
That's what I figured.
Lewis Hamilton let George Russell win.
That's what it felt like. I know it may not have even been that, but that's my take on it, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Josiah's number 2 is when Lewis let George win.
These are not in a particular order.
All right. Well, it's the second one you said, so it is number 2.
Okay.
My second memory or favorite thing about season 2, and this is a partnership that will be no longer in season 3, and that is the partnership that is Pukey.
Oh, Pukey.
Pierre and Yuki. They were,
and by season 2,
them.
you mean 2022?
2022.
Okay, cool.
For
That's
sure,
funny.
For sure. Don't know. Did I say season 2?
You said season 2, and then you said season 3, they will be no longer. Yeah. So we're going into the 3rd season of Formula 1 ever.
Listen.
Well, for us.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think their little partnership was so
adorable.
precious, and
it's what every teammate should strive to be like.
Well, I think that Yuki just brings that out in people because he's such an anomaly. It's like
in this sport,
like you're one of 20 people in the world who do this, who have this athletic ability, and you just don't like working out. You just hate training for this. Well, AlphaTauri really they really made him though.
Oh yeah, they had to train him to train.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how you must be just have like an insane amount of just raw talent.
This is what I'm saying. Was
that more of a Drive to Survive storyline or a real thing though? That's what I don't know.
Okay, well, because they do have
their own
podcast, Tauri Talks, and Yuki just constantly talks about how he hates working out.
Yes.
And how he feels like AlphaTauri tricks him into working out sometimes.
Yes. Though I'll say the last one we listened to, which was their last Pukey talk, they gave him a lot of props for getting better at training.
I do think that this last season he did sort of buckle down.
He upped his game, and they've said ahead of this season he really needs to up it this season, otherwise he might lose his contract. But I think
that's
can.
fair.
I think he will.
You're not gonna train for this.
It's true, but he was training. The car was just very inconsistent last season, and hopefully it's better.
No, I am excited for.
Yeah, they finished 9th.
And Nick DeVries.
Yeah. I forgot. Yeah, Nick's joining him. Mm-hmm. That'll be cool. That'll be interesting to see.
It'll be really interesting.
So my next thing.
Yeah.
The word porpoising. One of my highlights, I gotta say, as negative as that word was for all of the teams and mostly Mercedes, I think it's such a silly word, and it's something I've never thought about as a word, porpoising. And if I were to think about that word, never would I come to the definition bouncing.
A car, a Formula One car bouncing up and down.
Bouncing up and down. Like, that's porpoising. And that's funny. So what a revelation. But it had its negatives.
It had a lot of negative. Just a lot of...
Some physical
damage to drivers.
Yeah, that was not fun.
No.
Yeah, especially what was the worst race? Was that in Spain or was that in...
Porpoising wise?
Yeah, for Mercedes. Remember when like Lewis got out and his back was hurt?
I don't remember which one it was.
Of course, then some people are like, "Oh, he's faking so they can change the rules." And I'm like, "Stop being an asshole." Like nobody's faking injuries. That's not this isn't soccer.
Lewis.
Especially
another
Lewis,
hot
though.
take.
That does happen in soccer.
I know.
Jared can back me up on this.
It
It happens.
happens.
There you go.
Anyways, so that was my next take.
Just the word porpoising.
The word porpoising.
Not necessarily the action or the repercussions.
Not at all. Definitely, the repercussions were not a highlight for me, but the word porpoising brings me much joy.
All right.
Did you have...
Well, yeah, my third... Well, I do have another one because my third one was also George winning or Lewis allowing George to win, however you want to spin it. But I guess the other moments that I really enjoyed is Valtteri's, I think it was a painting or a picture where his buttocks is in full view, and then Alfa Romeo did a promo video where well, no, there was an interview with Lewis Hamilton where they asked about it, and they were like, "Lewis, what do you think?"
And he clearly didn't know what
Lewis clearly had no idea.
They were talking about.
He was like, "Actually, yeah. I mean, Valtteri's super talented. It's one of the best photos I've ever seen. I think." We're like,
right?
Lewis, you don't know. And then they did that whole exchange where Valtteri gave him a copy of it, and Lewis was like, "Wait. Oh yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I really like Lewis.
He's too classy to be honest about this.
Wow,
like,
I can't believe you're giving this to me. This is so nice. Like,
totally want to see you butt ass naked
in like a river.
Yeah, very artistic representation of Valtteri butt ass.
Butt ass.
Butt ass.
But anyway,
that's an appropriate picture, I guess. Butt ass for Bottas. Bottas.
True.
As they say in British.
He's not?
No, in just the announcers.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Bottas.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because, Brits. I do have one more highlight that I could bring up. And that was the pure disdain. And, well, okay, I'll put it this way. Sebastian Vettel's hair. That was a highlight of the season for me because it just fully represented how checked out he was. And and also moving on to environmentalism, like just going full force into that. And like it just was so funny. His demeanor the whole season. He was ready to be done.
Like,
and I know he still and I know he still enjoyed racing and he tried in a lot of races and he did fairly well, but he was also very checked out and it was very clear, and good for him. He deserves it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had one final year that he got to do his way and left on his terms.
Totally.
And that's awesome. Doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah
Good for him. Champions. Am I right? Anything else? Quick highlights?
I think that's it.
He was my highlight of like the whole season.
Oh, really?
Every single weekend. He was just him on the scooter. Talk about that.
Seb on the scooter.
Yeah.
Classic. Just doing track laps on that scooter. Just like,
Got a big old fine.
Yep.
Great.
Oh, I forgot about that. He was fined for the scooter.
Yeah.
Can't do it. You got to walk it, apparently.
Oh, are you not allowed to have like motorized vehicles?
There's
The
yeah.
track was
because you can.
closed, and he just rode around.
Yeah. You can
It's like, I'm out of here.
You're permitted to
End of the
scooter
season.
around it at certain times, but it was just he was there at the wrong time. I was like, okay.
Silly.
Because, yeah, they all get to do a track walk, but I think he missed it. And then it was like, oh, well, if you go now, then you can't use a motorized thing or whatever. I don't know.
Sure.
Very confusing. One of those weird technical rules that F1 uses so they can fine you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So silly.
I know there's so many rules in this sport that don't have to do with
Right?
the sport itself.
Oh, man, they're trying to put a gag rule on this season.
I know.
I'm not excited about that. We'll see how that goes.
I don't think it's gonna go well.
I hope
Everyone's
not.
already talking out and being like, we're not gonna.
I know, right?
What are
No
you
one's
gonna
going
do?
to follow that.
What are you gonna do?
And
Yeah.
even the FIA doesn't want that enforced. It's
Yeah.
just the CEO of F1. Like, that's it. Stupid.
We'll see. We shall see.
Yeah. So, okay, now that we talked about some highlights, how did you feel at the end of the season?
At the end of the season.
Yeah, like season's done. Because, I mean, or like the full end of the season.
I mean, I
'Cause
think
for
I think
me-
I was like kind of glad it was over. Because
Yeah.
it was like, I don't know.
Well, Max had clinched it so
Yeah.
far ahead,
was
so
like,
none of the
alright.
races really mattered. And Red
Yeah.
Bull clinched it, so none of the races mattered. And, like,
Yeah.
at a certain point, it was just, we knew what was happening.
It was just like, as a
At least Mercedes was getting a little
fan,
better.
they were getting a little better, but it was just such a long season to
Yeah.
watch them just struggle.
It was. But I was happy to see them doing better. And,
Yes.
like, knowing that they're heading in the right direction. They know what the problems are with the car, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And so that gives me hope for this coming season.
No, I think I was just like ready to be on to 2023
Yeah.
season with a better car for Mercedes.
For sure.
Maybe better strategy for Ferrari.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
Ferrari made all the dumb strategy decisions. It was so weird. Oh, man, that
Question?
should have been a highlight.
Question? Question?
Question? Would you prefer... like, don't ask the drivers.
Would you like plan A or plan B or plan C?
Man, I gotta say, this should have been a highlight, but Carlos Sainz straight up teaching his, like, strategist how to do strategy, like, mid-race. I can't remember which race it was, but he was like, don't tell me to do that now. I'm in the fight. Don't tell me to pit now when I asked you to pit earlier.
He was like,
But I'm passing somebody right now, so I
mid-pass.
cannot pit. Like, this is unsafe. Don't do this to me. Like, you're just being dumb. These are
Okay.
basic things. And that's hilarious.
yes.
But sad. Because I
know.
do think Ferrari could have done a lot better.
Yeah.
I think Charles could have had a shot at the championship.
Charles.
I know.
Charles. Little baby Charles.
Little baby Charles.
Who is single now.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Hot news.
Call us, Charles.
Call us, Charles.
Hot take on that hot news. All right. So that's fun. I do want to talk a little bit about silly season because it was extra silly this year and where we're headed this next season in terms of teams. Because there were a lot of switch ups.
Mm-hmm.
A big year for switch ups. So the silly season started off with, obviously, Fernando Alonso making a surprise switch over to Aston Martin when Seb decided to leave.
In the idea of this being an amateur's podcast, what's silly season?
Oh, yeah, silly season. Great. Thank you, Jared. Silly season is what they call this period of time that's usually during the break, the summer break. That
Contracts are
happening.
negotiated.
Yeah, everyone's switching teams potentially and negotiating their contracts and
switching teams multiple times.
yeah, sometimes multiple times, and it's silly because like everyone's so secretive about it, and because they don't want to like reveal their cards.
But it's like,
But like everyone needs to know what's going on. Everyone's waiting on somebody else to make a decision so that they can make a decision on their contracts. And it takes forever and it's just funny. usually.
But yeah,
So-
this year was a lot of switch ups.
This year was extra silly.
Season.
Yeah, because of the Oscar Piastri situation.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so who ended up with Oscar? I'm already
McLaren.
forgetting. McLaren got Oscar.
Yep.
Okay, and Alpine was supposed to get him, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Alpine they've got their little French crew.
Oh, they do, all French crew
Mm-hmm.
with Ocon
and Gasly.
and Gasly, and they hate each other. So that's going to be
Allegedly.
fun. Allegedly.
We'll
Drive
see.
to Survive propaganda.
Yes.
No, that's not just Drive to Survive. This is talks. These are facts. I mean, like, well, I don't know about
Facts? Are they facts?
But they've both been interviewed and talked about their disdain for each other. And like Ocon publicly said he did not want Pierre to come to the team. So
I know. I'm so curious about.
I'm curious how that's going to go.
About that team.
I'm curious who's going to be the number one, because Ocon's been there a couple seasons now. So I think
he ended with more points.
yeah,
than Alonso.
he ranked higher than Fernando this last season. So he could be good, but I think Pierre also has the
Gasly-
experience.
And I don't think Gasly. I think Gasly did well as a number one on AlphaTauri.
I agree.
So I don't know how he's gonna do.
Though he was
especially-
inconsistent this last year, but that was mostly because of the car.
I think it was mostly because of the car.
Yeah.
So
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But also, who knows with Alpine? I feel like they've been a little inconsistent with like, the reliability of their car was not there. And I know Fernando was super frustrated.
They ended fourth, so
They did pretty well,
Yeah.
but that wasn't a big jump up. Is the problem? I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. So yeah, we've got Piastri going to McLaren,
Yeah.
switching out
Goodbye,
one
Ricciardo.
Aussie for another.
Right. Oh yeah, both Australian. I will miss Danny.
I know.
He didn't belong on the McLaren though. He could not figure that car out.
I know.
He could not. McLaren literally should have gotten fourth in the constructors championship, but only because of Daniel Ricciardo they were fifth. Yeah. To Alpine. So silly.
It's kind of shocking how much better Lando Norris did.
Honestly, yeah. He there's something about he just gets that car better. He learned the language, he figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And Ricciardo never could.
Mm-hmm.
I do hope to see Ricciardo come back to the grid though at some point.
Yeah.
Hopefully. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Because he's reserved for Red Bull now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back to Red Bull.
Back to Red Bull, full circle.
Yeah. Classic poor decision on his part to leave Red Bull in the first place.
I know, right?
And then to leave Renault, that was the worst choice. I think he
know.
could have done something great with Renault had he stayed.
And he broke Cyril's heart.
And he broke Cyril's heart.
But you think it was a worse decision to leave Renault than to leave Red Bull?
Potentially, because
Yeah.
only
Red Bull do in those years.
Only well, yes.
No.
True.
But here's my point: is that Red Bull was all in on Max. They were very clear about Max is going to be our number one driver, even though Ricciardo had been for a while. Max is the number one, and we're going to prioritize him. So if you're in Ricciardo's position, I could see that move to Renault making sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or any move.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he built that team up in year 2, or helped them out, I feel like they really clicked. Him and Cyril clicked.
He was doing well
And he
in
was doing
season
great.
2. It was really kind of shocking that he wanted.
Yeah. So when he left for McLaren, that was a big surprise and a bummer. And now Cyril's gone, and I miss Cyril.
I know.
And I miss Renault, even though they're still part of Alpine.
Yeah.
But I think they were doing better with
Yeah.
Daniel, and he just couldn't figure out the McLaren. But I think had he stayed with Renault, he'd still be in the sport.
On
He'd
the
be on
grid.
the grid. Yeah, that's my point.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Agreed.
So hopefully he comes back, but
Yeah.
we'll see. All right, what else? What other moves?
We got Alonso going to Aston Martin.
Oh yeah, taking over Seb
Mm-hmm. With
and with Lance Stroll
the little
with the
Nepo baby.
That's funny.
and
Lance Stroll is a funny character to me because he's not
I
a
always
terrible
I always
driver.
forget about it.
I just forget about him because he's so hit or miss. He's got his really great moments where he's pushing it, But most of the time where he's pushing it and doing well, he's like really riding that line, and it might be dangerous. Like, so you never know with him. But I think he's an okay driver. Whatever.
Yeah, he's just whatever.
Yeah, I do think Fernando's gonna blow him out of the water though, and I don't like Fernando.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, he's just an asshole.
Well, the history of him and Lewis Hamilton is upsetting.
Yeah, it's true.
It all comes back to
Always comes back to Lewis.
who was nice.
Well, hey, if you're not here for the bias, then get out. I don't know. Well, this is a very biased podcast.
But I mean, he was straight up shady. Like he paid,
absolutely. He'd pay engineers not to work on Lewis's car,
which is it's just bad sportsmanship all
yeah,
around.
he's not a good sport. He is a great driver.
Yes.
Bad sportsman.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not looking forward to Aston Martin.
Yeah, it's like
Don't care about
whatever.
them. Whatever.
Haas.
Oh man, Haas had a year.
Haas had a year.
They jumped from last to 8th.
Yeah.
Impressive.
They
ended 8th, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep, they ended 8th. Yeah, they had a great year.
It was great to see K-Mag back on the grid. Honestly, I was so happy.
It's what they needed.
Yeah, Mazepin was not a great driver.
And obviously
Yeah.
not from a good
And
family.
Also that. We can keep the oligarchy out of F1 now.
And I think he's kind of like a skeezy. Not nice to women.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Not that surprised.
Not that
though.
surprising, no.
No.
But
yeah, either way, happy to see K-Mag back. I think he's a great driver. He's got spunk. He's got fire. He's got energy that like...
Spunk. Fire. Energy.
Yeah.
All right.
He does, but
No,
like
I
he
agree.
brings the energy to the team, and like I think it made the whole team excited again, because I think they had just been down in the dumps for the last couple seasons, especially 2021.
The Russian dumps.
Yeah, Russian/German, I guess. Not that Mick was the worst.
No, but I mean, the whole reason that
Oh yeah, it was all about money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they needed funding.
Yeah.
For sure. But they made the right choices, I think. Gunter, good team lead. Made the right choices. Glad to see K-Mag back. I thought Mick Schumacher did make a step up in his performance. I was a little bit surprised to see that they didn't sign him again.
That he didn't have a seat.
Yeah. But it makes sense to sign Nico Hulkenberg.
It does.
That he's known to be a good driver and has not been on the grid for a couple of seasons. And
and if they're just not looking to like
right,
nurture a new
exactly,
and just go with someone who knows the drill,
right?
then
But it is a little strange because Hulkenberg hasn't driven a Haas, like or isn't as familiar with the car as Mick Schumacher is. So it's hard to say if he will get more performance out of it. But
we'll see.
We'll see. I'm excited for them this year. I like the new livery.
Mm-hmm.
The car looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
MoneyGram sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah, they're like owning the American side of the team recently. So that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the Russian side.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to see that. I love Haas. The scrappy American team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great.
AlphaTauri.
Oh,
we
yeah?
got Nick DeVries coming in.
Joining Yuki.
I'm curious.
I'm very curious. I'm curious to see. I think that this will be a good push for Yuki because he's going to need to perform better than Nick.
Yeah.
To stay on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it will be the push he needs.
I just want to see Yuki crush.
Same.
I'm like, yeah.
So, that'd be cool. It'd be great.
Cool.
But you're never going to crush in an AlphaTauri. I think
I want to see him do well enough to get on another team, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd like to see him move up the grid somehow. But I still don't think he's going to have... Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see Red Bull investing in him much longer.
Yeah.
Which is too bad.
Yeah.
Because I think they're
We'll
pretty
see.
set on their drivers right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be looking for like new drivers in the future. But we'll see.
We'll see.
I hope he finds a spot late out of AlphaTauri soon.
Yeah.
Because like you don't want to see, like, Pierre was there too long.
Mm-hmm.
He clearly didn't care that much about the team anymore. And while he liked Yuki, but he was ready to move on for a few years.
No, I agree.
And he was just stuck there. And I don't want to see that happen to Yuki. I want to see him progress. I want to see him move up. And I'm curious to see how Nick does. I think he'll do great, though. He seemed pretty natural in the one race he had this last season.
Got points before Latifi.
He did.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Speaking of, Williams, good riddance.
Good riddance, Nicholas Latifi.
Seriously.
I'm sorry that you're so bad.
Honestly,
at your job.
When he crashed in Abu Dhabi 2021 and the last lap.
Yeah.
And I'm
Granted, he got a lot of flack for that. And he deserves some flack for it. It was a dumb crash out, but it wasn't his fault that Massey made that decision.
But without that, none of this would have happened.
It wouldn't have been possible. You're right. Without
none
that, Lewis would have been champion. 100%.
God.
100%. Yeah.
So annoyed with Latifi,
I
even though
know.
he's not part of this.
Crashes out more than any other driver. I don't know how he stayed in the sport for, 2 full seasons? Was that it?
I don't know.
Or was it 3? I think it was 2.
3.
Was it
Yeah.
3? I can't believe that.
There's no way he should have been in it.
He really shouldn't have. It was hard to watch, honestly. And literally was lower in the standings than Nico Hulkenberg, who doesn't have a driver's seat. And Nick De Vries, who doesn't have a driver's seat. It's silly.
That's not a good look.
No, it's terrible. So, sorry, Nicholas. I hope you find luck somewhere else. You're obviously listening. Yeah,
come on the podcast.
Redeem yourself to us. We'll give you a shot.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But they switched out the Canadian, Nicholas Latifi, for an American. When's the last time they had an American in F1?
These are the things we don't know.
Yeah, because we're not long-term fans.
Ignorant fans.
I'm going to look this up.
But yeah, Logan Sargent.
Yeah. Oh, so the last American who participated in F1, it was Alexander Rossi, and he participated in 5 races in 2015.
Oh. So not even a full
season. Not even a full season.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're getting one now.
Yeah.
So good on Williams trying to get that American support. But man, do you think Williams can ever recover?
I don't know.
It's hard to watch.
It's hard.
It's sad.
Well,
they have such a legacy in this sport.
I know.
It's such a beautiful legacy. And they have been a really great vehicle for new drivers coming in, like George Russell.
Mm-hmm. George Russell. I'm excited for
Alex Albon. Yeah. And clearly, Albon was way better than Latifi. That was amazing.
Easily.
And I like Alex Albon, so it's good to see that. And it's good to see that the team trusts him and they're trying to help involve him in the development of the car, and it's good. So he's got that leadership role. I'm curious to see if they'll do better this year.
He's so goofy. I like him. He's so goofy.
With the hair.
Yeah, with the hair. And also I follow on Instagram Albon Pets. It's all of Alex Albon's family pets.
Oh, what?
It's just the wholesome Alex Albon content that you would expect.
I love it.
But I think it's I don't know if I think it's his siblings or his family who post it, but
yeah, he's got a big family, right?
And they've got a lot of pets.
A lot of pets.
A lot of pets.
It's so funny. I'm just happy Alex is on the grid because I didn't want to see him leave Red Bull necessarily. Mm-hmm. Even though I do think Checo deserves that spot. I think Checo's a great driver, and he should be in a car like that. But yeah, I want to see Alex work his way back up.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yeah. Who else? AlphaTauri's staying the same.
No, Alfa Romeo.
Alfa Romeo's staying. My bad.
Get your alphas.
Man, alphas.
Straight.
Too many alphas. And wait, Alfa Romeo, I think this is their last season as Alfa Romeo.
Right.
The Sauber team, is going to be switching to Sauber again. I'm not sure, but I know that they're going to partner with a different engine manufacturer in 26. Something like that. We'll get you those deets in a few years. Either way, I'm excited to see Guan Yu again.
I know.
I think he had a good rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
I think he actually was probably one of the most professional drivers on the grid. Like, just put your head down, do the work, don't get involved in any drama.
True.
Like, him and Valtteri seem like great teammates.
Chill.
Yeah. They're like, hey, we're here to drive.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And survive.
Drive
and survive. But yeah, I'm glad to see he's back. Who else? Any other switches?
Nope. I think we talked about everyone. The other top 3 stayed the same. Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes.
Sure.
We know the deal with those ones.
We do.
And we're hoping.
Yeah, we're hoping to get Mercedes back on top where they belong.
Definitely.
With a Lewis win specifically.
No more Lewis letting George win.
Okay. And yeah, I'd love to see them go 1-2 in the championship.
I know.
That'd be nice. And I think they can. I think George is an incredible driver.
He is. I think he's he is the
he's
new,
stellar.
He's
the future of the team for
Mercedes.
Sure. Yeah.
I like that Mercedes
Lewis.
is like, it seems like they have a lot of longevity in their teams.
Yeah.
And it's like a healthy team.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, they're not switching people consistently. It's nice. And they're like, we really want the driver input in the development of the cars, and we all work together to just make the team better. It's very team-oriented.
It's very team-oriented. It's not very
Max-oriented. Like Red Bull.
But haven't they lost a few last season and then this season again, a few people on management side? Mercedes.
Yeah.
I know
last season Red Bull posted some people, some engineers specifically. I didn't hear as much about it this season.
Just a couple people.
Yeah. I mean, there's always some switch ups. Mostly it's people move up their position to another team because, well, it's a promotion.
Mm-hmm.
You can have more decisions and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. For the most part, I feel like they're pretty solid anyways.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of worry about last season. And I don't think that those switch ups were the reason for their struggles. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I think that it was just a new car. You know, it was so many new rules. There's only so much prep you can do, and if you can't figure out if the porpoising didn't show up in the wind tunnel, then how do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing you can do about that. So, I don't know.
True.
Oh, Yaki making some noise. Shout out to our dog Yaki.
She's
climbing on the couch.
Present now.
Yes. Yaki's favorite driver is Yuki.
We did dress her up as Yaki Tsunoda.
Yaki Tsunoda.
So
it was so cute.
It was pretty adorable.
Epic, even.
All right.
Where are we at? Did we talked about all the teams?
We talked about all the switches.
Wow.
So
we're all right.
So we're moving on to
any expectations for this coming season, I guess. Or even for Drive to Survive, because that's coming up.
Lewis Hamilton to win a championship.
Oh, you expect?
I expect it.
It's not a hope, it's an expectation.
I think that if Beyonce can win the most Grammys of any artist...
And still not Album of the Year.
Well, regardless, she broke an insane record.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that this means that all GOATs will break...
It's
records,
true. You got LeBron.
Lewis Hamilton included.
LeBron broke a record like the week after Beyonce broke a record.
So it's like it's in the air.
You're the GOATs.
You're the GOATs.
You're the GOATs. And Lewis is the GOAT. He is.
He is. So
there's no question about that.
So that's my expectation.
I love that expectation. Mm-hmm. I'm here for it. I do think it's going to be a tight battle.
Yeah.
I think...
I know.
I think it's very unlikely that Mercedes is going to blow Red Bull out of the water.
I know.
And I also think it's unlikely that Ferrari will do much better. But I think they'll be in the fight. I think the new team leadership and whatnot will probably be good for Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think it's going to be a battle between Mercedes and Red Bull for number one.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. I don't know, because like their car was solid last year.
Yeah.
So it's hard to imagine that it's going to be worse or even the same, because like it's unlikely that they're not improving that car. So we'll see. It's quite the gap to catch up to them.
Fine.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to set expectations. I don't want you to be disappointed as heavily as 2021. That was an exciting season to watch, though.
It was.
I do
like it when they go to the end.
I like it when they go to the last
championship.
race. Yeah, I like that. It was more fun to watch that in 2021, the end of the season.
It was so awkward when Max won and they made him go into that that room. It was like the champions room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in 2022. Yeah.
It was so awkward. He was just standing there,
and then he was
awkward,
like, I don't want to be in this room alone. And he just turned the corner to like the regular waiting room.
He's like, I want to like be around people and celebrate, like, which is totally fair.
Yep.
Yeah, they tried to do some weird things. I don't like some of the choices they make on F1 TV. I don't like the driver's helmet cam. I don't like that.
Oh yeah.
I like the halo cam when you can see, and I like the wing camera. I do not like the one that's from inside the helmet.
That one is
very
freaky.
disorienting, and it doesn't make any sense to show it. Honestly, I don't get it. It's just shaky. You can't see anything. Doesn't really do anything.
But they like the announcers love it. They're always like, "Oh, this amazing
footage." I think they have to.
I don't know. They seem more amped about it than other views.
Yeah, that's just because it's new. It's something to talk about. Who knows? We'll see. Anyways. Let's go Mercedes.
Any other thoughts about this upcoming season?
I think McLaren might pass Alpine.
I like McLaren. I think McLaren.
Yeah.
I like Lando Norris.
Yeah, I think that Alpine's gonna have some struggles because of Pierre and Ocon. Like I think
I'm excited. Though.
I'm excited about it. But even watching the way that Fernando and Ocon like hurt each other's chances in a lot of standings, like I think that will happen again. I think Esteban Ocon is not a good teammate. I think he thinks he's the best driver, and he has some great races. Like he's not a bad driver. I think he deserves to be on the grid, but I don't think he's a good teammate. And I think especially because him and Pierre do dislike each other, that it'll get worse, and they'll have some struggles. There'll be some growing pains, I think.
I wonder how many races they'll take each other out of.
Right, that's what I'm trying to figure. That's what I'm saying. Like,
right?
I think there will be a decent amount of DNFs just because they're racing each other too aggressively. And I think Piastri will bring some balance to McLaren, where
hopefully some more consistency.
Some more consistency and better standings than Ricciardo could do.
Yeah.
I hope so. Anyways, I think.
Oh, Danny.
Right.
Danny.
I know. It's sad. I already miss him. He just brings such joy to the sport.
I think he's going to be on mic on F1 TV.
Oh, he definitely should be. He should be.
He's going to be announcing and stuff.
He is? Oh, I didn't even hear that.
Well, like, Nick DeVries was on mic constantly when he was the backup driver last year.
What?
On, like, pre-show.
Oh, on the
Sure.
Sure. I thought you meant, like, for the race. But that makes sense. Yeah, just doing more things.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, here for that. But would also just like to see him back on the grid.
We'll see, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else? I'd like to see Haas move up again.
Yeah.
I think they could.
I think they could.
They're heading in the right direction. But we'll see. Not everybody can move up. Somebody's got to move down.
Stupid.
That's how it goes. All right.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So
exciting.
That's our take on season 2022 of Formula One. We're very excited for this coming season. Yeah. Make sure to check in on us every Monday after the race.
Let's not commit to anything.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're gonna try and get these out consistently, but it's new for us, so we're figuring out our schedule. But we're gonna try and get these out consistently, and we're gonna try and talk about every race. Maybe even live from a race. Ooh. Anyways, more on that later. Any final thoughts?
Well, I mean, yeah, we're gonna try and recap every race, and then follow us at Carl and Josiah on Instagram, because that's currently where we'll be posting
updates. Yeah, we'll tell you when there's subscribe on all platforms, but to the podcast. Yeah, please subscribe to the podcast. Oh man. Wherever you listen to podcasts, please subscribe. Leave us a review. Share it. Are those all the things you can do?
Comment,
subscribe. Anything you can do for us, please do. Rate us 5 stars, but only 5 stars.
Only 5 stars. If you're going to rate us lower, then don't bother at all.
Yeah. Why you got to be mean? All right. Well, cool. Follow us at Carl and Josiah, and we'll see you next time for a review of Drive to Survive. Da 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 da. I forget how it goes. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Goodbye.